All right. Get set up here. Okay, am I live? Awesome. Awesome. Hey, looks like I am live. Way to go. I'm going to check on my phone here just to see that I'm streaming everywhere I'm supposed to. And it looks like I can see me. So, hello, everybody. I'm excited to be here with you. We got a good topic. It's one that I've talked about before, but it just seems to keep coming up, and that's how to master productivity with ADHD. And so, if you are jumping on live in any of these platforms, whether it be LinkedIn or YouTube or Facebook, please say hi in the chat. Let me know where you're tuning in from. If you're watching the replay, I know a lot of people watch the replay, then let me know that as well. If you are watching this live, I am going to change Monday Night Live to Monday Day Live. So we're changing our time slot to Mondays, and I'm on Central Time, so whatever time I tell you, it's always Central Time. But I will keep you posted on that. And I hope you've had a great Monday so far. It's a beautiful day here. I'm in the suburb of Memphis. And so good to be with you all. If you don't mind, when you do watch the replay, if you could just say hi in the chat and let me know, that would be great. Because I don't see any comments here. Oh, I see Larjo from Kansas. Yes. Hey, Larjo. Good to see you. Glad you're here. So let's just dive in. I'm going to share some tips. It's nothing earth-shattering. It's probably nothing that you haven't heard already, but they are proven tips to work with ADHD people. Not every productivity hack really works with a neurodiverse brain. And of course, all the ADHD people are different. If you've met one, you've met one, because we're all different. And ADHD people may not always be the most productive, despite good intentions. But if you will at least attempt to practice some of these tips, I do think it will help. These are things that I've tried, my clients have tried, and that have actually worked. So, and we're just going to touch on a little of these. And what I'd like for you to do is think about which one of these tips that I'm just glossing over tonight would you like to hear more about? And what I'll do is then do an entire training video on going into a deeper dive in maybe one or two of these tips. So how's that sound? Are you guys with me? I see just one person. So, hey, that's okay. I know lots of people watch these on the replay. But the first tip, this is something that I do, that I teach my clients to do, and I would encourage you to do as well. And that is to break tasks into smaller goals. I say this all the time, but if you look at something that you need to have done and it seems overwhelming, then break it up into, keep backing up into smaller and smaller bite-sized pieces until it doesn't feel so intimidating. And you may need to set some deadlines for some of those things, like along the way. But I'll give you an example. This is not work related, but one of my clients needed to unpack some boxes, and it was overwhelming. And so we talked about, instead of saying, I'm going to unpack one box, back it up even more and say, I'm going to take 5 things out of this box and put them away. Just 5 things, and then I can stop. Or another suggestion was for her to set a timer. I'm going to unpack this box for 15 minutes. And when the timer goes off, I can stop, even if it's not unpacked. And that seemed a lot less intimidating and overwhelming. So think about that in terms of your work tasks, other things that you need to accomplish. You can use the same concept, just break it up into smaller goals. And along with that, set realistic goals. So many people with ADHD, we want to do everything. We are interested in all these different things, and we want to do everything. We jump all in with great enthusiasm, and then we get overwhelmed. So if you set realistic goals, it's going to help you manage expectations and minimize that shame that you feel when you set a goal that's really not realistic. Like maybe it's something that depends on other people doing things. Well, you can't control them, so don't set that as a goal. That can be a wish or desire, but set a realistic goal, something that it pushes you a little bit, but that you can achieve. Manage your expectations. Get rid of that perfectionism. That's something that a lot of people struggle with. We just talked about this last night on our group coaching call for the group coaching program. Now, when you break things up and you set realistic goals, celebrate the different milestones with rewards. Now, I don't mean like a big giant reward for doing a tiny thing, but small rewards along the way. It fosters a sense of achievement. It boosts your self-esteem. It helps you stay motivated and interested, and it's just fun. So give yourself little rewards. It could even be I'm gonna get to take a break and watch some TV or scroll the internet. Something that you enjoy that feels like a reward, not something super unhealthy. Now, another thing that I do and I teach people to do is to work in intervals. A lot of people with ADHD, we like to just go full blast and we don't want to stop because we got that momentum going, and then we just crash. The caffeine or the medication wears off. We're worn out. We got decision fatigue, brain fatigue, and we just get frustrated because we didn't finish. Instead, work in intervals. Set a timer. Timers are great for ADHD brains. Set a timer for a period of time and then take a break. I've talked to you before about the Pomodoro method, but you could do this. You don't even have to do the Pomodoro. You could just set a timer for any amount of time. Like maybe you work for 45 minutes and then you take 15 minutes to relax. But over time, you can build up your concentration and your stamina. But research has shown that our brains do need breaks. So you actually are more effective if you schedule a break, and then knowing that timer is set kind of lights a fire under you and makes you want to get things done. So if you have any comments or questions, put them in the chat and I'll address those as I can. And I will circle back around and read the replay people. Another thing I do, and I've encouraged others to do as well, is a brain dump, or just people call it different things, but it's basically getting everything out of your head onto paper. And it helps you to just write everything down, everything you're trying to remember, all the things you need to do. Just even if it's not organized, write it all down. But then that could help you be more productive, because then you can sort through your tasks and make sure, they aren't drowned out by other noise. Because you got it all out of your head, because there's so much in there, and it's all playing off each other, all those different thoughts and all the things that we try to remember. It's super stressful. Once it gets out of your head onto paper, there is a sense of relief. It feels good. So let me see if anybody's commenting. Some people just keep a little notebook and they do this on a regular basis. But Another tip, you've heard this before, is body doubling. And that just involves using another person's presence to increase your productivity. Um, it doesn't have to be in person. It can be virtually. I know some ladies that are writing, trying to write a book, and they get on Zoom and they just have writing sessions, and they're not even really taught. They're just writing, but it's just like you're writing and you look up and you see that there's another person and they're writing, and it just keeps you on track. It holds you accountable, um, and it's just nice to know that there's another person there. But there's a lot of different ways you could do that. You could also get somebody who's actually physically with you and helping you, um, but it could work virtually as well. Now, when you are planning your day, when you're scheduling things out, make sure you leave time for transitions. Give yourself a transition time between tasks. This is one thing that I see um, people, this is a big mistake that I see people make a lot, and that is that they just schedule things back to back. They don't really think about how long something will take, because we tend to underestimate how long something will take, and then they don't have any time in between. But you need a transition time in between tasks. It will not be a waste of time. Um, for example, right before I went live here with you, I had 15 minutes and I was squirmy because I felt like, oh my gosh, 15 minutes. What could I do? I could do other things. But I did do a couple of little tasks here at my desk on the computer. But it gave me time to make sure the streaming is working, set everything up properly, look over my tips that I wanted to share with you. And it's just less stressful. It wasn't a waste of time. So you don't need to schedule everything back to back with no wiggle room in between. So if you're not doing that, I highly recommend it. Now, make deadlines visible. Post-it notes are great. Post deadlines where you're going to see them. Don't just keep them in your mind. Actually post them. Put them on your calendar. Put them on a Post-it note. Reminders everywhere. Even if it's a self-created deadline, you want to remind yourself of what the time is that you're dealing with, because we aren't always the best, we ADHDers, when it comes to managing time, because we tend to think there's more time available than there really is. So make sure you make your deadlines physically visible. That's really important. Now, we get bored easily, right? So there's a lot of different philosophies for how to manage tasks. Some people say do the fun stuff first, keep it interesting. But that could end up being where you put off the important things that require a lot of concentration for later in the afternoon when you're tired and hungry and all that kind of stuff. So you don't necessarily want to do that, but I do always suggest make the first thing you do a quick win. It's something that's easy, that you keeps you engaged, and that you can cross off your list and kind of get that dopamine rush. So do something that gives you a quick win. But then I think it's a good idea to mix in the fun things in between the more boring things or complicated, or things that require a lot of concentration. So remember when I said work in intervals and take a break? This is where you could use your break. If there's something that you need to do that you find interesting and fun, do it as a reward or as a break after you do the harder things. So there's different philosophies on that, but that's the way I like to do it. And I think too, since our brains like novelty, new things, change up your environment. your work environment. That can spark creativity, that can get you motivated. Um, I know people who like to write in a coffee shop, and they look around at people, and they people watch and they get ideas. Some people like a quiet library or bookstore, um, a cafe in the morning. Some people like to be outside. Um, all of that distracts me. So I actually just go to different parts of my house. Sometimes I'm here where I've got this beautiful windows behind me, my dog and everything. Or sometimes I go to the kitchen table. Sometimes I go other places in the house. Um, but try to shake it up, keep it interesting. So if any of these are tips that you want to know more about, that you want to kind of go dive a little deeper in, let me know. I'll plan a whole training around the things that you're interested in. I did want to make an announcement. I am doing a free live workshop on Thursday, May 30th at 10 a.m. Central. So that's 11 Eastern, 10 a.m. in the morning Central. So it'd be 8 if you're in California. And it's one that I've done before, and I'm repeating it. But I reveal what the 4 big mistakes are that I see people making over and over again when it comes to ADHD, and some tips on how to deal with that. It's called the ADHD Advantage, and talk about how to leverage your strengths for success. And I would love to invite you to that. It's absolutely free. I'll put a link to sign up in the chat. And, if you want more information, reach out to me, let me know. And I hope to see you there. So I hope you have a great rest of your Monday. Let me know which of these tips you've tried. Let me know which ones you want to know more about. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.